teachers, I just wanted to jump on here quick and give you a little mini tour of my studio. The biggest reason is because I've been noticing that even teachers who've had some positive experiences with online teaching, they've been saying how exhausted and tired they've been at the end of the day, and I can totally relate to that. So it gets easier. Certainly the first week is the most exhausting. But as you keep doing it, you'll kind of find different systems and organizational things that will really be useful to you. And what I really wanted to do with this video is just kind of show you my setup and give you a few tips and organizational ideas along the way that might be helpful to you. So organization is really a personal thing. So maybe none of these will be useful to you. And I apologize, but that's okay. That's how that goes. But I thought if it at least helped a few people, it was worth putting this video up. So the first thing you might notice about my space is that it has lots of color. It also has lots of things. It's a very organized space. Everything has an assigned place, and I think that that's really, really important, that everything has a place, because if everything has a place, then you know where to find it when you need it. So even though I love to be surrounded with color, and I like to have a cozy space, I have, you know, pictures and posters, inspirational quotes, motivational quotes, all these things that bring me great joy, and actually just make my space really fun to be in for me. So maybe that's an organizational tip. So for me, this is a fun space. This makes me happy to walk into. Some people might not feel that way. It might be too cluttered. So anyway, but my setup, moving on from there, my setup is very simple. I have one camera angle, so you can see my iPad over there, which is just sitting on a tripod with an attachment. So this is something I ordered at Amazon. I think now it runs about $40 some for the two pieces. It was 30 something the last time I checked, but it's or it was 30 something when I bought it, and I just sent a link to someone else, and I think it was 40 something now. So, but it's a really nice lightweight tripod that moves just about every which way. So there's I'll try to bring it over here. There's a handle right here that you can turn, and it adjusts the height up and down. So depending on what you want the student to see, that's really, really helpful. And then this right here will adjust. It's really hard for me to move this while I'm holding onto my phone and videoing this, but it will move this so you can actually get that at a 90-degree angle. So you can get a view right over your hands. You just have to move it there. So if I'm making kind of follow-up instructional videos for students, I can do that. And sometimes I'll take it and move it in a lesson. So I can move it right behind the piano keys. And then just lift it up really high and turn it over. So that is a really, just a really simple, great setup. It was great to get me started, and it served me really well, and I haven't really changed it since. So the students seem happy, and it usually sits right about there because you get a nice kind of overview of the keys. And that's sometimes what my students have. Some of my students also have this tripod and attachment as well, and it works really, really well for them. So, my other really big lifeline for online teaching is this little setup here. I just have a lateral file, and I have these two red milk crates that I've had for years, but they've served me so well. So this is just organized by day of the week, and then behind each day are the students for that day, of course. So it just makes everything really easy to find at the start of each week. And then I'll pull out a file. So what I keep in these files, I don't actually keep any books in these files, but what I'll do is keep any digital music, and I do try to use lots of digital music. So, and I just keep them in sleeves so they all stay together, so the pages stay organized. And then I always put them back so they stay organized. So the digital music is in there, and then also I'll have a list of all of their music and books that they have. One thing that's tricky about online teaching is just remembering what students have in their space. So I always try to write everything down if I've had them order something or if I've sent them stuff in the mail. And then also their registration form is in there with their address and phone number and such. So I'm going to put that back. In the back here, then I just have a section for theory books, theory pages, if I've given worksheets, and then just different technique things. So like pentascales, technique books, all of that. And then these are just overflow files and things that I can use for later. So, and then this over here is all my hard copy music that I use. So I use a lot of Faber methods. So I have a category for those, and their supplements, piano pronto methods and supplements, just miscellaneous other methods. Rather than making a file for everyone, I just have a few extra in here that I know don't go to the other categories. My Wonder Keys books, the Chord Crash course, which is a new thing. Supplemental music, so like Martha Muir, Melody Bober, Robert Vandal, those kinds of books. Any teaching repertoire, and then a big section of classical music. And in the classical section for me, I include the teaching repertoire, so original music for piano. And then, excuse me, and then anything that's arranged too, I put in that section. So anything that's classical, arranged, or original, I put there. That was just easier for me. And then I have a section just for different popular things. So we've got like the Disney, Faber, I've got some Michael Jackson, some Hamilton, so all of those things. And then I have a section of just overflow books that don't fit in the bin, or sometimes the bin just becomes too full, so I just stick those there. So everything I know that I need for every student for each day is all in one place, and then I can just go pull out the books and pull out the files. And so what I do on my teaching day, so, 15-20 minutes before I teach, I go ahead and pull out all the files and all the music for all those students. So I should also mention, if you can see under here, while I'm thinking of it, I have an accordion file. And you can tell I like llamas too. I have an accordion file organized by the day of the week, and I just put all the assignment sheets in there. So I'll go ahead, actually, what I will do first, before I do anything else, is I'll pull out those assignment sheets and just go ahead and put them on a clipboard. So I have easy access to them while I teach. And I'll go through those assignment sheets then and pull out any of the books that I need. Sometimes I remember off the top of my head, but it's always good for me to consult the sheet because I'm always prone to forgetting something. And then whatever students first, they go on the top of the piano bench. So you notice my piano bench, I do not sit on my piano bench. My piano bench is actually a table. And that happened early on because sitting on a bench for that many hours straight gave me a backache. So I realized with in-person teaching, I was moving around a little bit more. Even just at the end of a lesson to greet a new student, I didn't just sit in my chair the whole time. I was moving around. And so online teaching is different that way. So the piano bench did not work for me to sit for long periods. So I put the books and the files underneath the bench of students that are still to come for that evening. And then who's ever up and whoever I'm teaching, their stuff is right on top of the bench there. And then, so I showed you, I still do handwritten assignment sheets. So I can't offer any digital help because the digital things I tried just did not work for me. I really enjoy the process of handwriting. So again, I joke that I'm an analog studio that uses technology to see my students, but everything else is pretty low tech. And then I just scan them at the end of the night. So, and then there are you can see the clipboard with the regular assignment sheets for that week, and then my schedule on top of the piano. I just have all my flashcards organized as I might use them. I've got rhythm cards, my mini dry erase board, guide note cards, practice cards. So anything I might use, I keep really handy and all around me. And then I keep a little collection of index cards here at the end of the piano. And what I use that for is I just write notes during lessons of things that I need to take care of for each student during the week. So online teaching, again, is a little bit more work intensive behind the scenes. So it reminds me if I need to prep music for a student and get in the mail, if I need to send an ordering link, anything I need to prep for the following week or a follow-up before the next week in some cases. So that's really helpful. Again, for me, making things colorful, I have a little bird clip. All of those things make the whole process more enjoyable for me. I know that probably sounds silly, but that's just how I am. I'm a big fan of binders. I use a ton of digital music. So you can see all of those are all organized in various categories of composer, and different, you know, digital music categories that you might see. So I've got, I should show you, for those of you who are fans of Wendy Stevens. So I originally just had one Wendy Stevens, and now I have a big one, and then I have seasonal, and I have all her rhythm stuff in a separate one. So, so that has grown, and I've got lots for musicnotes.com. I've got lots for Composers Community and Jennifer Eklund. I've had to expand those out. So again, just that makes things really easy to find. And then what I will do is also keep some binders usually under my desk that I'm using from student to student. So like I know some of these have like the Let's Quest books by Chrissy Ricker. I use those all the time. The Rock On books by Chrissy Ricker. So some of those are all in there. And I just keep those handy all the time because I generally have at least one student a day who's using those. So the ones that are most used I put under there. I've got some Wonder Keys things. So sometimes some of those binders will end up down here. Got some bongo drums for rhythm work. And then this bin is just sort of a collect-all. I've got stickers, because sometimes I'll put stickers on assignment sheets that I scan. Some of my big different things that you've seen me use on the magnetic board, and just different notebooks and things that I take notes with. And then here is my big magnetic dry erase. And then I added this wonderful cart to hold all my manipulatives. So pens, pencils, markers, erasers, pointers, alphabet cards, practice cards, colors, rhythm cards, erasers, practice games, all those things kind of sit in there. So one thing that is really great, I'm sitting now, I have a wheeled office chair that I might add has a tush cush in it. You might have seen that in the previous pictures, but the tush cush is a lifesaver. It makes teaching much more comfortable and healthier for your back. But what I like about this is I sort of have, you can see I'm moving around, I have this working triangle, so I can easily move things around. I can access things on my laptop if I need to. I can wheel over here and grab whatever I need. I can wheel back, and then I can easily move this tripod over so they have this view of the dry erase board. And then I can go right back to the piano as needed and have access to all those materials. So it's a kind of a nice working triangle, a little bit like a kitchen, just in a music studio. So everything's easily accessible. Everything has an assigned space. So it just makes everything easy to find. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. And I teach in this studio full-time online, so it's really set up to be an online teaching space. And I did have 2 local students here in person. I obviously moved them online when all that's happened transpired. But it worked well actually for both kinds of teaching. So I hope that was helpful, and happy organizing, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.